Hey y'all, this is Treacherous Slayer coming at y'all with another video, and before we get started, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Now today, I'm going to be discussing a few topics which, revolve around all things horror, and I've been noticing this on, social media as of lately, and the comment sections, with all the latest horror coming out. I just want to, analyze a few things and how I think horror could be saved and a little bit improved. No, don't get me wrong, we're on the right track and everything, but we have kind of slightly derailed from progression in horror. Well, I'm about to get in. Bitch, delete this. What I'm about to get into is how I think horror can succeed, basically, and fix the current problems within the horror world in today that I'm noticing, as well as an avid watcher of horror. Now, we're all familiar with, watching horror movies and everything, and TV shows included. And I would say the first thing that's essential to a good horror movie or a horror TV show is a storyline. Now, not just any toss together storyline where it's just a cheap cash grab. I'm talking like a well thought out, phenomenal storyline, and this is vital to the success of any film or TV show. Regardless of genre, you need a great storyline or it's gonna flop. Prime examples of franchises who doesn't have this problem would be the Final Destination series and the Saw series. And it's important to keep things fresh in horror, and not constantly go back to, what's already been done. Hence, the current problem with remakes, I'm noticing a lot. You could do a good remake, requel, reboot, or whatever, but make sure that storyline is top tier, because if not, the ratings and views are definitely going to plummet into the depths of despair, because no one's going to be watching it. Everyone's going to be confused, like, okay, what's going on? Like, how does this make sense? I'm proud that Final Destination and Saw aren't really falling into this trap in terms of continuation. Chucky too. Chucky's been consistent as well with keeping the story interesting, I would say, and keeping up with the times in terms of adapting to the current generations and everything, especially now that we're in the age of Gen Z, Gen Alpha, etc. So it's nice to bring new generations into what made the previous generations happy. You have to do that through an authentic lens, I would say, in terms of writing, and make sure you're getting the voice of each generation accurate as well within the dialogue, because if it's too unrealistic, it's not really going to be memorable in people's minds and make them want to come to the theaters and stuff. So all these things was vital to the success of horror as a genre. If the creators themselves and want people to, continue to come to the theaters and spend their hard-earned money on a good film, it's wise to, have a good story, because without a good story, you're not gonna get the money on that you want. So that the money ain't gonna be money, and if the storyline is trash. So like I said, this is why horror did thrive in the 80s to the early 2000s, because those storylines were just great, especially with the Scream trilogy. I'll say Halloween, H2O, a few creative gems up in there. Yeah, because when you tread into the territory of remakes and you don't respect the originals, it could definitely blow up in your face, Catch my drift, because we were kindly seeing that with a few projects in this day and age. So next point I want to make to save horror at this point would be, we need more horror from specific perspectives. I'd love to see more women directors in horror movies, specifically in the slasher subgenre. Zoe Kravitz did an amazing job with Blink Twice. She definitely revitalized the thriller genre with that film, because I was not expecting the film to turn out the way it did. It was so exceptional and had me at the edge of my seat. It was a good metaphor on how women are seen as objects and not as people, and how they use that to their advantage by the end of the movie. And I love how it is wrapped well, and how the perpetrators got the karma that they weren't expecting. So that was very well executed. And I enjoyed the Fear Street trilogy as well, and I'm glad it was something new and fresh in terms of balancing like the supernatural element with the slasher element. That was an interesting combination that I didn't, expect to see, since we didn't really get that with a few. Well, we got it with a few franchises. Like, you could incorporate Chucky and Jason Goes to Hell in that, but it was definitely a fresh take, I would say, in terms of giving us different character dynamics that we're not typically used to seeing in horror movies, and character development for each character, even the side characters. And I feel like that's definitely vital to the success of horror as well. Like, give each character a chance to shine, because if you just put certain characters to the forefront, it's not really gonna age well and not make people want to revisit the film, and it'll definitely become forgettable. I know I definitely forgot about a few projects. Like, oh, I forgot I watched that, because it was just like that bad. So I'm just saying, gotta keep it a buck. Yeah, because even the first Twilight was directed by a woman, and you see that skyrocketed in success after that. So we definitely need more women directors in horror, for damn sure. That's for sure. And my next point I would love to make is the elephant in the room. Look out, the elephant in the room. Casting is key into the success of a film, any genre, namely horror, because, especially for the groups who don't feel like they really get represented as much, albeit that of color, sexuality, disability. It's interesting to see different perspective horrors on terms of that. Like, I loved Hush, that aired on Netflix like a couple years ago, when she was like deaf and mute. Like, that was such a terrifying film, and just envisioning yourself as the protagonist in that film, you're like, oh my gosh, like, I couldn't even survive how she survived. Like, that was a great, well put together idea of a film, I would say. I was not disappointed with Hush. Like, that's definitely a new age classic. And word of advice to the new creators of horror and just any other genre, namely horror: don't be afraid to step out of the box. Like, I love how Megan has revitalized the killer doll genre. Now it's time to give Megan a shine, because she's doing a great job in adapting that to this day and age. Like, okay, AI killer doll, that's definitely something Gen Z and Gen Alpha could definitely deal with, since we're currently dealing with AI at the moment. So that's a fresh take on horror that I love to see. And also, don't be afraid to let certain horror legends rest. Like, let Michael, Jason, Freddy take a rest. I understand Ghostface making a big comeback, because any generation, it could be a Ghostface. Like, come on, that's the whole thing about legacy. But like, with certain horror villains, you could give them a rest, unless it's like a prequel, because we know a few franchises definitely need a couple prequels, You know what I mean? I also said this in my Good Slasher TV Shows video. You guys should definitely go check that out. I'm sorry we got derailed a little bit from the top, but yeah, casting is essential. Like, I've been reading this a lot. I would say this is a big problem in this day and age in terms of casting, because I'm just like, what is going on?
Vertigo, hello? And my boyfriend just died. Why am I showering?
I would just say, from like the 80s to the 90s, I seen everyone represented in terms of like, humans. Like, you get your vanilla lattes, French vanillas, cinnamons, cherry blossoms, milk chocolate. And the dark chocolates. But then now you're only seeing like, vanilla latte to, light mocha, if you get my drift. Like, it needs to be a little bit more heavier on the mocha like it used to be, because I would say from the 80s to the early 2000s, y'all had that down pat. Like, I don't know what's going on with these newer cast of directors, but the ones in the 90s and 2000s, early 2000s, they were not playing when it came to that, because I'm like, okay, everybody across the board. I'm shocked to see more cherry blossoms, Canadian maples, and boba teas, if you catch my drift. But I'm glad I need to see everybody, because you're missing out on a whole demographic of people that's coming to see these movies and TV shows, and if they feel like they're not represented, why are they going to waste their hard-earned money on something they can't really see themselves in? Like, oh, like, that's nice to have someone like me in there, just for a metaphorical sense, but it's just like, okay, like, and it also gives a very unrealistic view in the world, because, like, it's not just one type of human in this world, if you catch my drift. So, like, y'all need to get it together. Like, it's okay to keep the vanilla lattes and, the light mocha stuff in there. Just continue to, keep it realistic with other shades of mocha. Y'all could go back to being heavier on the mocha, because that's what I'm saying. Like, I guess if I really want to see some true diversity of balance, I gotta watch, like, The Quiet Place, directed by John Krasinski, or, M. Night Shyamalan film, or Jordan Peele, because those are the only three I see really doing it right in terms of casting. Like, let's be serious. I also was gonna add a great example of who's doing all these things right is Dexter Original Sin. Now, y'all, storyline top tier, casting type tier. I see the vanilla lattes, ginger snaps, and cherry blossoms. Mocha. I see all the colors. So this is how you do it, because that's the real world. You literally walk in these streets. So, represent everyone that's potentially watching these projects, because that's essential to the project's success, and if you want the project to be profitable. So, yeah. Like, everybody's represented. I was like, y'all, like I say, y'all keep the blonde vanilla lattes up in there, and the light mochas, but continue to be a little heavier on the mocha, if you catch my drift, because that's why I miss Wes Craven, because he did not play that. Like, dang. True legend. He was not known for that. But, yeah, casting is essential, because especially y'all want to continue to make this. Second guess on them casting decisions, because y'all was doing good up until 2021, then y'all kind of started to plummet a little bit with that, so I don't know. So hopefully y'all get that together. Like, it's definitely not that difficult to understand.
Vertigo, hello.
That's why some of these movies aren't doing so well, and I see a lot of discourse between them, and I don't like seeing all this disdain for certain films. Like, you could find good aspects of each films to like and everything, but yeah, y'all. I'll say those three things, like a strong storyline, a great creative team, and more diverse directors and casting are essential to the success of, like, horror movies. Like, nowadays, like, you gotta be realistic with that, because you can't think, like, horror is just a monolithic experience for certain people, and it's very vast, and don't forget to get creative, but be authentic in that creativity. Like, go into these communities of different people and, learn how they talk and everything, so they're not written through an unrealistic lens, because, y'all know what I mean, with some of the dialogue just don't digest well. Now, I will say, what I'm really proud of recently is Hard Eyes. I really enjoyed that experience in the theater, y'all. Y'all should definitely go check out Hard Eyes, because I'll say everything I named, they checked the box on that. Like, the casting was balanced, and the killers were great, and it was a great balance between horror and comedy. See, like I said, my points are particularly directed towards horror. I'm talking about other genres as well, because a lot of the genres suffer from this as well. But yeah, y'all really need to get it together with the storytelling and the casting. That's essential, because, yeesh. That's why some of these ratings, ain't doing too well, so y'all need to get it together. Like, well, let's be serious. And I'm an avid horror fan watcher, and I want this genre to succeed. So please just take these things into consideration when you continue to put out these amazing films. Because I'm excited for Final Destination, because like I said, there's not one bad Final Destination film. And can't wait for the next Saw film. And Megan 2.0, y'all know I'm ready for Megan 2.0 to come out, because what I heard is definitely gonna be juicy, and I'm definitely interested to see where Scream's going to with the story. So y'all let me know down in the comments what y'all thoughts on how horror and other genres can succeed, because like I said, the main thing is make sure you got the right creative team, because the writing, you can just like rush the writing, because then the whole movie is definitely gonna suffer the consequences if you rush the writing. So remember, get great writers who love horror or love the specific franchise or film, because if not, if there's not really like passion in it, it's not really gonna digest well with the fan base. So yeah, y'all, I don't know. Like I said, I enjoy Horror Eyes. It was just so refreshing to see like a good horror comedy next to Tragedy Girls. Like, and if y'all haven't seen Tragedy Girls, y'all definitely need to check that out too, because that was definitely another good horror comedy. But yeah, y'all let me know y'all thoughts on how horror could continue to survive in this day and age, because it's looking a bit, it's looking a bit. It's still promising, but a lot of work can be done, and y'all know I cannot wait for that. I Know What You Did last summer too. I definitely can't wait for that. So I seen a poster, I was like, okay, yeah, this is about to be good. Y'all let me know down in the comments y'all thoughts. And I'm Treacherous Slayer, and I'll see y'all later. Bye.